bring in another guy that had no issue with shot selection during his playing days. Reggie Miller, NBA on TNT, will be calling the Clippers-Suns game Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. On TNT. How are you, Reggie?
Christopher, a couple observations first. Excuse me, and I'm going to apologize. What are the names of your Chrissies that are working with you today?
It's Peter, who's producing the show, and Alan, who is playing the Seton O'Connor role.
Okay, I believe it was Pete who you were playing ping pong with?
Yes.
Okay, number one, the reason why you cannot return his serve, first of all, Pete, that's an illegal serve. You can't serve like that. The ball has to be out of your hand before you serve. So next time I'm in New York, for doing what you're doing to my man Chris, I'm going to come there, and you think you beat little Danny Amandala or whatever. I'm going to come there, Pete, and give you a ping pong lesson because you can't serve the ball when it's still in your hand with the. That's why you have spin on it. That's illegal in table tennis or in your garage ping pong, my friend. So please know the rules first and stop taking advantage of my man Christopher. Okay. Well, you want to talk about Russell Westbrook, Chris?
Yeah, I do, Reggie, because, look, I don't mind Russell's shot selection, and we got my front row guys here are now reeling from your commentary on that. But I don't mind.
I love your Chrissies. I'm only giddy, Pete, but I will beat you behind in ping pong.
The Chrissies.
But anyway.
We can't make the Chrissies a thing either.
Please, no.
I don't have any issue with Russell Westbrook's shot selection, but, Reggie, how disappointing is it? If you're Russell Westbrook's teammate, how disappointed do you have to be that he picks up that technical foul and is likely to have to miss a game tonight against Portland?
Yeah, when you're in a race for that eighth spot, obviously every game matters for New Orleans and OKC. It's disappointing, but I watched that game, and I really do, and I truly believe that technical will be rescinded because I really didn't think he went over. Look, we couldn't hear what he was saying to the official, but it didn't look like it was that demonstrative. And I would not be surprised. Again, we know the league does some funny things. This is a race for the eighth, and you've got to have your best players out there. I would not be surprised if that technical foul is rescinded and he gets a chance to play tonight. But
yeah, but you're going to get conspiracy theories, Reggie.
You can't put yourself in that position.
Conspiracy theories would abound, Reggie, if they take that tech back.
I've seen the league do some funny things.
Look at when I look at the Western Conference field, I said it on the show about 2 weeks ago, I would have said there may be 6 or 7 teams that I can see coming out of the Western Conference. Right now, when you look at the West, how many teams can you realistically see winning that conference?
I see 4, obviously, and let's start at the top with the best record, and that would be Golden State. To me, they have the MVP on the team in Steph Curry. Again, you can make an argument for James Harden. I would be happy with either or, but in my opinion, if you're asking me, I'm going with the best player on the best team. What Popovich and the Spurs are doing right now, it's Old Faithful, and they're the defending champs for a reason. Kawhi Leonard looks unbelievable, reborn, rejuvenated after that hand injury. The way the Clippers are playing defensively over the last month and a half, 2 months, I would put the Clippers in there, and the dark horse of that would be, if healthy again, the Grizzlies. I think they're big, they're long, they have playoff savvy. So I would put Memphis in there as my dark horse. But look, the Western Conference, every series starting with that first round, I mean, even if it ends up New Orleans versus Golden State, New Orleans just beat Golden State by like 15 points. So I'm not saying they're going to win that series, but every series is going to just be an unbelievable matchup.
Yeah, I just can't trust Memphis' shooting, Reggie. I mean, they were really good shooting from the perimeter early in the season, but they've kind of gone back to being that team that you just can't trust the Courtney Lees and the Vince Carters and some of these guys from the perimeter, and they need that to balance out that interior attack.
I agree with you, but as playoff basketball starts, remember, possessions start to dwindle down a little bit. Not a lot of fast break points. That all caters to Memphis. And would it be great if they had timely threes from the two people you mentioned, and Courtney Lee and Vince Carter? Yes, but you got to forget, they have Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol, who we hope is healthy. Those two guys down low are a beast, and they're tough, and they're a tough load. So That's why I kind of put Memphis in there. They have good point guard play in Conley, if healthy. So that's why I'm questioning the health going into the playoffs for the Grizzlies.
He's Reggie Miller, NBA on TNT, joining us here at Dan Patrick Show. So it sounds like you're set with who's getting your MVP vote.
Look, I could easily go with James Harden because to me he's done more with less on that team, especially playing most of those games without Dwight Howard. But there's something to be said about having the best record and being the best player on that team. And let's not forget, I think Steph Curry's numbers would be a little bit more gaudy. There were 16 or 17 games where he didn't even play in the fourth quarter because they were up by so much. So that's why I got to give him a little bit more credit. If he plays in those games, he has better numbers. James Harden has to have those numbers for Houston to be, I think right now there are 3 or 4 in the Western Conference. I'm going with the best player on the best team, and in my opinion, my MVP goes to Steph Curry. I would have 0 problems with James Harden winning it. Let me just keep saying that. 0 problems. In my opinion, I'm going with Curry.
One of my favorite awards this year to vote for is the Defensive Player of the Year, just because you've got Doc Rivers publicly touting DeAndre Jordan. And then, I don't know if you saw this, but last week you had Greg Popovich in a very Popovich-y way kind of suggesting that why is rebounding all of a sudden this criteria for being a great defender? Is his way, I think, of kind of sticking it to a guy like DeAndre Jordan while promoting his own guy, Kawhi Leonard, as the top defender. In your mind, who's the best defensive player this year?
The only reason why I don't think Kawhi Leonard will win it is because of games played. Remember, he missed a ton of games with that hand injury. I think if Kawhi had been playing like this all season without the injuries, hands down, he would be the MVP. The Defensive Player of the Year. And that's why I'm kind of going with DeAndre Jordan. I know, you talk about rebounding. That's a defensive presence because he changes a lot of shots while he's in there, too, and blocking shots. I think that's more so why Doc is advocating DJ. So if I had to go with the Defensive Player of the Year, yeah, I'm probably going to go with DeAndre Jordan from the Clippers. Only reason why I don't say Kawhi is because of the not enough games played. I know he'll probably be mentioned, because he will have enough games played, but he missed a ton of games early with that hand injury.
You watched the Masters?
A little bit.
What'd you think?
I'm happy for the kid. But to me, and I'm a lot like you. Where's Tiger Woods? When I watch golf, it's all about Tiger and what he's doing and where he's competing at. So I love the young guns. I don't follow golf religiously like you. I only watch the big tournaments or when Tiger is in contention. He was in contention and was playing well. Had that long layoff, and oh my God, he's playing in the Masters. I'm going to tune in because Tiger Woods is playing.
Worst golfer you ever saw as a teammate? One of your teammates. Who's the worst golfer you ever played with?
Well, I'm going to extend this to USA play, and I'm going to say Charles Barkley.
Well, that's an easy one. I mean, we know what Charles can do.
Okay. Well, truthfully, I don't know because I never went golfing with anyone because I'm not a golfer.
Yeah. Never had the temptation?
Never. 0. I would break my pings. No.
I figure a guy like you, a shooter that likes precision, might be.
Look, every sport, hand-eye, I'm the master at. Pool, ping pong.
Yeah, we know that.
Okay. Bocce ball, darts, all of it. Only game I cannot do is golf. I just don't have the patience. There's so many things, 100 things I could be doing different than those 4 or 5 hours out there on the links.
When was the last time you played bocce?
I'd say about a year or 2 ago.
Yeah?
See, it's big out here in Malibu on the beach. Big out here. You need to come on out. Bring the Chrissies out. You form a team. We'll get Dan Patrick and the Danettes. They'll form a team, and I'll get the Malibu Lights guys, and we'll form a team, and let's go for it.
Good to visit with you, Reggie. Appreciate the time. Enjoy the game tomorrow.
Christopher, you're the best. Petey? Am I getting it right?
You're getting it.
Little Petey?
Peter.
Peter? I'm coming to New York. We're going to play a little ping pong, my friend. Little ping pong.
That's Reggie Miller, NBA on TNT, joining us here. Dan Patrick Show. Thank you, Reggie.
You're the best.
All right.